अब की बेल मोहे जाने ना देत, अब की बेल मोहे जाने
That was beautiful.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. It's Rag Gorak Kalyan, one of my favorite rags. Out of after Darbari, I think Gorak Kalyan is my favorite. Very, very sweet rag. It's almost like in this particular rag, you cannot even. I mean, almost anything you sing it with that set of notes, which is just going to sound good, no matter what sequence, what combination you go. It's just very, very beautiful. No Gandhar. After you touch Pancham, you come back. So some very interesting rules for this rag, but it's very pretty. And it was just in my head as I was driving home from tennis. So I remembered it and I thought I'd share it with you all. And so I've been working on this. It's a global project. It's a global collaboration of of brains which are much more powerful than mine and much more educated than me also. But it's a global project that people are working on together. So what this is very interesting. I posted about it last week, but basically they said supposing we get a signal from an alien civilization at some point, who knows? I mean, they say that there are billions and billions of suns like ours and bigger than ours all over the universe, and many of them are of such have planets orbiting them, and many of them are would be at the right distance from their own suns to have supported life and would have created some situation where life could have formed. So there's all the chance in the universe that at some point we will receive some signals. Just like we have also transmitted certain signals into the universe in the hope that someday somebody somewhere might catch that signal and try to communicate with us. So something like that went out on the Voyager, which has already left our solar system, is out there in what is known as interstellar space. So it's a space between the stars. It's in the interstellar space and it contains a gold plated copper dish, copper record, a phonograph with the equipment to play that record. And if some civilization someday, somewhere ever finds that Voyager and it lands where they are and they find this record and they play the record, they will hear all kinds of messages from human beings on planet Earth. Not just human beings, actually, they have whale sounds and they have sounds of birds and rivers and mountains and volcanoes. They also have songs from every culture in the world, different kinds of music, different hellos from in different languages, and something about our numbers, some pictures about our, how Earth is and our people and all that. And that whole gramophone is riding out there as we speak, somewhere between outside the solar system. It's going on Voyager 1 and 2, actually. Both of them contain it. And who knows, somebody somewhere might get it. But this was decades ago that Voyager left the Earth and it's now out of the solar system. But there's another project which I'm talking about now, which is a project where what if we received a signal, a radio signal? Most likely it would be some form of radio because that's one of the most efficient ways to transmit radio waves. As we know, we can receive radio signals on our radios and on our TVs and so on. So in the radio spectrum, we expect to receive someday, somewhere, some alien civilization will ping us and tell us something. So what they did was they said, well, what if we get such a signal? Would we know how to decode it? Would we know how to understand it? Would we know how to interpret it? So what a group of interdisciplinary team consisting of a scientist, I mean an artist named Daniela De Paul, I think she's in Italy or in Europe somewhere, and a team of her fellow artists and scientists, and that too a multidisciplinary team of scientists, mathematicians, chemists, space astronomers, and so on, came together and created a radio message pretending to not be human, pretending that what if they were aliens who have obviously no language. It would be communication by understanding rather than in any particular language like English or Hindi or anything, no language. It would have to be some message that anyone in the universe, regardless of their language, their culture, their gender, their life form even, would have a likelihood of understanding what that message is. And so they created this message, and then they sent it off to this, what is known, so many ships are orbiting the Earth and Mars and so on. So there's one particular ship called the Trace Gas Orbiter, TGO, which is orbiting Mars even right now. They sent the radio signal to TGO, and then at a particular time they said, okay, everybody listen up. TGO is going to transmit this signal back to Earth, what we've sent them, and only we know what it is. But you guys, the human race, pretend that this is an alien civilization from Mars, which is sending this signal to Earth via this TGO. And here is the signal. And a lot of the radio telescopes that are spread out all over the world were prepared and waiting for this signal to arrive. And they had a live event at which they transmitted this signal, and several telescopes all over the world picked it up and then put that signal into the public domain. They posted it on the internet and says, okay, guys, here is the signal. Pretend it's from an alien civilization. And supposing we got this message, now it's up to you, the human race, to figure out what the heck this message is, to decode this radio signal that has come. So several gigabytes of data in that signal has come in and is posted on the internet at various locations and various websites and so on. And then scientists and teams everywhere are free to download it and work together or separately or whatever and decode this message and interpret it and tell us what this alien, quote unquote, mock alien civilization is trying to tell us. So I've been working on this project from several perspectives. So I've been, working with this team, and like I said, they're all PhDs in cryptography. Some are PhDs in signal analysis and computers and whatnot. And you know me, I'm not a PhD in anything, but a half PhD in a lot of things. So I try to pitch in wherever I have some ideas and see if we can decode this signal. And they're getting far. I mean, they're getting along. It's been like 4 days, and they've got some clue about what this signal is and things like that. But I'm interested in it from several different angles. And one, of course, is as a scientist, I want to know how the heck they do this thing. How would you decode a random signal which we don't know the content, we don't know the format, we don't know how they packaged it and how to unpackage it and what is the actual message? We don't know what the message is. Is it an audio? Is it a sound? Is it a series of sounds? Is it a picture? What is the message? And then if whatever the message is, what is it going to tell us? So I'm interested as a scientist, as a computer scientist. I'm interested in it as a physicist. I'm interested in as an astronomer. But most of all, there is one more reason I'm interested in it. And who can guess what that reason is?
Oneness perspective.
In addition to all of this, you know all this. You can't say it. You were there on that children's. Sorry, you're not allowed. We already talked about this on Sunday with a bunch of kids, but you already let the cat out of the bag. So I don't know if people heard what she said. But
I heard what she said, but I was going to say spiritual perspective.
Who is this?
Mahesh.
Mahesh. Oh, Mahesh, you were going to say spiritual, from the spiritual perspective. Yeah, exactly. But what about it? So, okay, so let's take it one more step. So assume, of course, I'm interested in it from the spiritual perspective, but why from a spiritual perspective would we be interested in aliens?
Because instead of learning about their technology, etc., this would just take us a few steps ahead to finally to what we are looking for and talking about.
Exactly. Because just imagine what does one have to do in order to understand a signal from an alien civilization? You would have to drop, first of all, your language. You cannot be stuck on Hindi, English, Gujarati, Marathi. I don't care how many and all languages in the world that you know. You would have to drop all language, because there's no way that an alien civilization developed, and whatever path they took, it is extremely unlikely that this developed language like humans did and would have something anywhere close to, our Chinese or English or anything like that. So we'd have to drop language. First of all, you have to drop it. You hear it, you'll have to hear it with raw ears. You cannot listen to it with language in your mind. You'd have to drop your nationality. There's no way this signal will have anything to do with Indianness or Americanness or Chineseness or Japaneseness or any of those nesses. You have to drop your nationality. You have to drop your culture. You have to drop your cultural biases, about what we think may be right or wrong, or what is our opinion about. You'd have to drop all this right and wrong stuff. You have to drop all these things about culture as not just as a nation of Indians, but in terms of our cultural heritage, in terms of our music. Even our music may be completely, our cultural biases about music, what is pleasant, what is unpleasant, what makes a sound nice, may be completely different to this alien civilization, may be completely opposite, or who knows what. So you'd have to drop all your cultural biases. You'd have to drop even your identity, really. You have to drop your identity. You would have to drop your I-ness to meet this message on a completely unbiased, neutral basis, in a way that you can understand what it is and absorb it and see what it is. So you really have to get down to the core of yourself, the true self. You cannot operate with this little self called, this mind body, which has so many layers and layers of bias all built in. Because with any of those biases, you will never be able to figure out what this alien civilization is trying to tell us. So guess what? This is the neti neti process. The neti neti process, not that. I am not my body. I'm not my mind. I'm not my senses. I'm not my circumstances. I'm not my my understanding, my knowledge, my wealth, my friends, everything, that neti neti, which after dropping of which, when you finally come to that which you cannot drop, which is the I, only that I will be able to understand. Because guess what? On the other side, any intelligent alien being which has developed not just scientifically but spiritually as well will have to do exactly the same thing to create the message. They will have to drop their identity, their language, their means of communication, their biases. Maybe they have 3 digits and all their numbers go from 1 to 3. Then there is no 4, but it goes back to some, what we repeat at 10 because we have 10 fingers. Imagine if they have 3 fingers, they may have a completely different numbering system. So they would have to also drop all of that, their own biases, their own whatever thing, layers and layers that pile up on top of that, to be able to create that message to transmit down to us, down or up or sideways or whatever it is. But so they have to also operate from the I, because that is the only guaranteed common denominator between any life form, in fact between anything anywhere in this universe. The only thing we can be sure of, no matter who they are, where they live, what they think, how they think, whether they think or not, they will refer to themselves only as I. And their language or the word for I may be different. The way they refer to it may be different, but they will only, when they talk about the I, when they refer to themselves, after dropping all that can be dropped, and you come to pure awareness, pure consciousness, that's the only place from which they can transmit this message. So ultimately, an alien civilization talking to Earth is a message from I to I. That's the only, and not this I, but this I, the I that I am, the I to the I, from one I to another I. It's as basic and as raw and as spiritual as you can possibly get. And all the guys who are working on this, none of them are into spirituality. They're all scientists and, psychologists and artists and whatnot. But this is an aspect that it is not easy for them to think from this aspect, which is why I'm on that forum and discussing and listening and sharing and whatever. So it is a communication from I to I, and as and when we ever receive any kind of a message from any kind of life form out there, it will propel humanity forward in their spiritual journey faster and farther than any amount of uh, things in the past that have propelled us forward. Whether it was, oh, of course, did I forget to say religion? One of the first things we're going to have to drop, religion. No way that there is any religious bias in that. I mean, there's no way there's a Buddha or a Christ or any of that. Or so that also will have to be dropped, because the minute if they communicate from any kind of their own religious bias, we will not be able to make head or tail of it. And if we transmit a message that is religiously loaded, they will not understand what the heck we're talking about. So religion will also have to be dropped, among the first things that will have to be dropped, because that's so much part of our cultural bias in a global sense. So that's why I'm so keen on getting to the bottom of this. So the message has been around for now 3 or 4 days, and pretty much all my time, spare time, is really going in discussing on these forums, and writing code, which I've not written in a long time, but I'm writing programs. But that's all from the scientific side. But I'm really meditating and contemplating and seeing the opportunity that this presents to really learn. This is a situation where you have no choice but to drop your little I. You have no choice. There's no way with this little I you're going to be able to figure out what they're saying. There's no way. there's no way except to drop all of that, drop it, drop it. Everything that can be dropped has to be dropped. Even our biases about color, even our biases about emotions, all our judgments. There cannot be any single judgment when we are listening to this message, because any judgment will attune us, will bias us, and will miss the point, because we will color that message with our, what they call anthropomorphization, like making it man-like, thinking like a human being. We cannot think like human beings, because we have to think only from consciousness. We have to only think from dropping this body, dropping this mind, dropping all our knowledge, dropping our history, dropping our everything that can be dropped has to be dropped. And that's why it's so exciting. It's probably the first time in human history, as and when this happens, that we will be absolutely forced to drop this I. There's no other way. There's no other way. And this, even though this is like a mock exercise, it's just a pretend. We are pretending that an alien civilization is communicating with us, but it's almost as good. But of course, because it's a pretend, not the entire planet is involved. I mean, only a few people who hear about it and they get on board and they try to figure it out, and which is also great. I mean, we'll see how that goes. We'll see how long it takes, whether we get it or not. But whether we get the message or not, the process, the journey is going to be what is going to be transformative, because the journey requires us to go to that that I am. So it's very exciting. So I'll keep you guys posted. But meantime, we are going to be traveling for the next 2 months in Europe and USA and all of that. So I'm proposing a recess for the summer for about 2 months. Open Door will take a recess for 2 months. We will keep posting. I'll keep posting whatever I'm finding. I'll post information, and we can keep sharing on the WhatsApp group and so on. But there will be no formal Thursday sessions for the next 2 months. Okay, and we'll pick it up again in August. There's just too much going on, and as it is, I've said a lot. I've been speaking for like 2 years, through 2.5 or 3 years. I've been speaking. For the first part of 6 months, I spoke almost every day. Then I spoke every 3 days a week. Then I spoke once a week. And we have gathered a lot of, all of you have been part of these conversations. And together we've built an entire library, a huge collection of, there are almost more than 300 videos now. 300 videos. 300 videos. So we have looked at oneness, we have looked at non-duality from 300 different points of view. And of course, there are millions of points of view for oneness, and there is no end to that, and we can keep on going and keep on going. But it's a lot. We've covered a lot of ground, and we've gone through many iterations and many perspectives. We have laughed about it, cried about it, joked about it, sang about it, bhajaned about it. We've discussed it. We've danced about it. Yeah, we've danced about it. We've done everything possibly that we can do about oneness for the last 2.5 years. And there's more. I mean, there's always more. And so we'll come back. But for now, I think it's we'll take a short recess and come back in a couple of months. Meantime, there's always lots of things happening. I mean, I just posted today. There's SSY classes going on. There's Vipassana. There's Jennifer G has all these some communication workshops, soul communication, healing, and financial. And then Meenal ji has this mpfy.fun. You guys can check it out in the next 2 months. Um, she very, very wonderful, very powerful course that I also went through last month. So, and it's very on target. It's and very aligned with whatever we are talking about on Open Door, and a lot of clarity on where it meets the reality, the ground reality, and the inner and outer world where they meet. How do you manifest whatever we know? What is the mechanism of manifestation? Through emotions, and knowing those emotions and going through that. So this is the announcement for the day and the talk for the day. And I know some of you who have been regular will miss, but and maybe randomly I may announce, and if the time is right and I'm in a place where I have nothing else going on, I may still make an announcement and we'll still meet. But as a rule, not as a fixed thing. So in fact, as soon as there's some kind of breakthrough on this signal, it's called a sign in space. If you want to check it out, it's a sign in space. Just Google a sign in space, you'll come across all the information. And the topic for the day, which I had said, which I think was 100% understanding equals 0% stress. And of course, the converse is also true. 0% understanding equals 100% stress. Because life keeps on throwing us challenges, and if we don't understand what's going on, there's nothing left but to be stressed out about it. But if we understand this universe is my playground, this is my playground to play and learn and move towards my own self, then no matter what is happening, it's all happening in my favor. And if I understand that anything that happens, good, bad, ugly, indifferent, anything that happens is simply an opportunity to know something more about myself. And how do we know that about ourselves? By looking at what emotion does that event, that person, that situation triggers in us. We look at that emotion, we thank it for pointing out where we are, because the emotion is the compass. It tells you where you are. Just like a GPS, it tells you where you are. Emotion, emotion, emotion. You look at the emotion that event, that person, that circumstance triggers, and you look at it, and if it's an emotion that's in joy, that's in masti, that's in love, that's in truth, that's in okayness, more power to you. Enjoy it. This is what you're here for. That's your game. This is your playground, and this is the game. Here's your ball. Hit the ball out of the park. But if you find that is triggering anger, it's triggering fear, it's triggering sadness, it's triggering things that don't feel good, that are not aligned with who you truly are, which is joyousness, which is love, then look at that emotion, thank that emotion for showing you, oh, this person is causing me to be angry. Thank you. Thank you, person. You are just a mirror of this emotion that I have in me. Thank you for bringing that to me. Thank you for showing me this emotion, which I still need to work on. And then thank the emotion for showing you what you need to work on. And then just let it go. That emotion doesn't serve you beyond pointing it out. Just like a compass by itself does nothing except show you the way. Once it shows you the way, you have to walk. You have to move. You can't just sit with the compass and keep looking at the compass and say, oh, I'm getting there, I'm getting there. No. So you thank the compass, which is the emotion, and then let it go. And once you let it go, move forward. Use your thought, use your energy, use your imagination, use who you are to move you forward. After you've released the emotion, anyway, the next thing will just come up. And once you've released the emotion, the space opens up for new possibilities and new things to happen. And they just happen on their own. We don't have to really do anything anyway. All we can do is release that compass, thank the compass, release the compass, and now allow the universe to shower more fun, more love, more truth, more joy. And this is the understanding. And once we understand this, no matter what happens, what is there to stress about? Including anything, name it, death. So what? mean, it's going to happen anyway, sooner or later. It's just a circumstance, just a situation. We look at it, see what we feel, release it. If we're feeling love, wonderful. We've had a good life. Let it go. Release and move on. And then there is no stress, even in that. And if there is no stress even in that, then what's left? Nothing compares to that, the fear of that. So we release and move. And so if we have this understanding, which we have talked about and shared about and sung about and danced about for the last 300, 400 videos, that understanding is yours. It's available. Use it. It's our gift to the world. And you have all been part of this journey. I mean, you guys have all helped create, you know, some of you have been there pretty much every single session, like Jennifer Ji and Purushottam Ji and some of you others. So, I mean, this is all thanks to you. There is no way, I know for a fact that there's no way all that has flown through this, in this platform through me, would not have flown if you guys weren't there listening. Your listening is what has brought out this speaking. So it's a co-creation. It's a co-creation. It's a co-creation by all of us. So this co-creation which we have put on for the world to listen and enjoy is there as long as YouTube is there. Nothing is forever. Great. So let's see. Okay, we are already past our usual time to close. Hello, Nancy. Wonderful. Great. So we are traveling to Europe and then the US next Wednesday. Actually, we were planning to fly on Thursday, but now ticketing issues and we're flying on Wednesday. So we will meet at, as and when the announcement, you see Jennifer Ji will announce if there is any sessions coming up. It may not be Thursday, it may be any day, any time, depending on time zone. Watch out for the WhatsApp group, and our regular session will restart hopefully in August. Great. Anything anyone would like to say or add?
Sanjivji, you mentioned that mpfy.fun, which you did last month.
Right.
How can I know more about them?
So mpfy.fun is the website.
Okay.
That's the URL. Just go there.
Okay, great.
Yep.
Right. You have a nice trip. Enjoy yourself.
Yes, thank you. Looking forward. Okay. और कोई और कुछ?
हाँ संजीव जी,
हाँ बोलिए.
मिस तो बहुत करेंगे, लेकिन आपने इतना खजाना दिया है कि उसको जिंदगी भर भी चेरिश करते रहे ना, तो ये जिंदगी भी कम पड़ जाएगी. एक एक सेशन हमारा ऐसा है कि 10-10 बार भी शुरू, 11वीं बार उसमें कुछ तो मिलने वाला है. तो आप तो सिर्फ 2 महीने के लिए जा रहे हैं, ये 20 साल के लिए भी पूरेगा इतना खजाना आपको.
Wonderful. Thank you
very much, and love you lot.
Love you all very, very much. Mwah, 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 mwah.
Thank you, Sanjivji. Thank you, Sanjivji, for wonderful session.
Thank you.
Wow.
Big hug to all of you. Vandana ji, Sanjay, Purvi, Minu, Sandhya Ben, Nancy, Jennifer, Prakash ji, Mahesh. Thank you. And Sanjeev. Love yourself first.
Yeah.
Great. Wonderful. Thank you.
हम वापस कब मिलेंगे?
August.
एक्चुअल में हम बिछड़ ही नहीं रहे.
August. बीच में कहीं randomly चांस मिला तो अनाउंस करके हम मिलेंगे और वैसे WhatsApp पे तो गपशप करते ही रहेंगे. I want to encourage all of you to like be more active on that group. You know, I post something and then I hear from one person, 2 people, and that's all I hear. And nobody else answers, nobody asks anything, and then the conversation just dies. Brrr. So be more active. Be more active. Read it properly. Think about it. Ask questions. Have your comments. Add to it. Subtract from it. Divide it. Multiply. Do something. ऐसे ही बैठे मत रहो. Yeah, let's make it a very, very active virtual satsang that is on all the time. Let that satsang, even though we don't have these regularly scheduled ones, let the satsang continue on an ongoing basis on WhatsApp, in that virtual space, in the virtual group. Keep on sharing. Keep on sharing.
Actually, you should take it offline.
Take it offline, na? In person.
Yeah.
पर इन पर्सन कहाँ देखिए, पुरुषोत्तम जी कहाँ पे है? मलकापुर में, नैन्सी सूरत में, कोई बॉम्बे में, कोई यहाँ, कोई वहाँ.
मैं बेंगलोर से हूँ.
आप बैंगलोर में है. दशेश्वर जी तो घूमते ही रहते हैं दुनिया भर में, कारगिल से लेके कन्याकुमारी तक.
आज मैं भी प्रकाश जी के शहर में.
अच्छा, बैंगलोर में है आप?
हाँ.
अरे वाह वाह, बढ़िया. योर सन इज देयर, राइट? योर सन. Yeah, so offline session मतलब retreat तो करेंगे. We'll have the live in person when we come back, maybe in the winter time.
We could have offline sessions for whoever is in Mumbai, and the others can join online.
Yeah, that would be fun. That's a great idea, Mahesh.
Yeah.
Yes, I think that'll be more fun than everyone online. I mean.
Yeah, both online and offline, both.
Online, offline दोनों साथ में. चलो अगस्त से ये फॉर्मेट करेंगे, मिलेंगे कहीं जगह पर सभी, और जो भी मिल सकते हैं हाइब्रिड. और नैन्सी तो सूरत पास में ही है. नैन्सी को बॉम्बे में छलांग मारने को टाइम ही नहीं लगता है, वो तो ऐसे ही जंप मार लेती है. वंडरफुल.
आप केरला में रखोगे तो मैं केरला में भी आई विल कम.
Great. Meantime, of course, I'm going to be in Spain next week, and then for 10 days, and then US, and then Scandinavia, and all of that. So हम pictures post करते रहेंगे, and whatever perspectives on those pictures from a oneness perspective, and a sign in space, that project, of course, I'll post about that also.
Yes, keep us posted on that one.
Yeah, I'll do that. Wonderful. Thank you.
Bye.
Hari
Enjoy.
Om Tat
Bye.
Sat.
Hari Om.
Hari Om Tat Sat. Thank you.
Thank you for everything. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Sanjivji, for the wonderful session.
Thank you.
All the best.
Good to see everyone. Lots of love.
Happy journey, Sarji.
Thank you. Okay. बुलाओ तो कोई आते नहीं, अभी आए हैं तो जो जाते नहीं. दुनिया का असूल है.
सर आपका आकर्षण है, सर आपका अट्रैक्शन है.
वंडरफुल.
संजय जी जाते जाते कुछ तो ऐसा सुना के जाइए.
चलो कुछ सुनाते हैं. क्या सुना? हाँ, मैं वो Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. 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 भगवते वासुदेवाय। ॐ नमो 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 भगवते वासुदेवाय। हरि ओम तत्सत्। सर्वे भवन्तु सुखिनः, सर्वे सन्तु निरामयाः, सर्वे भद्राणि पश्यन्तु, मा कश्चित् दुःखभाग् भवेत्। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। लगता है वो वाला भी गाना पड़ेगा, आज जाने की जिद ना करो। यूं ही
बहुत ही
पहलू
बढ़िया।
में बैठे रहो, हाय मर जाएंगे हम तो मिट जाएंगे, ऐसी बातें
वाह।
ना किया ना करो।
और संजय जी एक बार वो भी जय जय माँ वाला भी प्लीज।
अभी अच्छा। जय जय माँ, जय माँ, 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 जय जय माँ, जय माँ। पूर्ण प्रेम दे, अमर स्नेह दे, दिव्य शांति आनंद दे दे। पूजा करूं सदा मैं तेरी, पूजा करूं सदा मैं तेरी, दे भक्ति का दान, दे माँ निज चरणों का प्यार। जय जय माँ, जय माँ, 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 Jai Jai Ma, Jai Jai Ma, Jai Ma, Jai Ma, Jai Ma.
संजीव जी सही बात है, भगवान भक्तों को निराश नहीं करते, फिर भी क्लोज सेशन होने के बाद में आपने 2 गाने दिए, बहुत
बिल्कुल
बहुत बढ़िया, बहुत बढ़िया।
बिल्कुल बिल्कुल। जितनी हम ना कम, जितने हम हाँ पे जाते हैं, लाइफ इज मोर एंड मोर एक्साइटिंग। ग्रेट, ऑलराइटी, अभी हम डिनर को हाँ कहेंगे। Thank you, Nancy,
Thank you
for
very much.
the beautiful snacks from Surat. So wonderful it was to get that package. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Alrighty, bye, 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 bye. Love you all. Love you.
Bye.
Love you all.
Love you, Sanjay.
Love, 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 love.